Europe and China have sent out the signal that they are going to retaliate possibly. So this looks like it's going to turn into a very big part of Donald Trump's administration. I was wondering your thoughts on this.
I have some questions about this. Number one, if tariffs are so bad, then why isn't the economy of China, Vietnam, India, and Europe crashing? Because they have tariffs up to 200, 300 in some aspects like Canada, but 20, 30%. So why aren't they saying, why aren't they having a discussion in China or Europe? This is bad. This is like the Smoot-Hartley Act, or we can't do this. Classical libertarian economics say tariffs are terrible, Europe. Why aren't they having that internal discussion? But they're not. Apparently, they think tariffs are very good. It's only our tariffs that are bad. That's the first thing. The second is they keep saying Great Depression, Great Depression, Great Depression, 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 depression. You're going to cause a depression. Well, we're going to talk about the Great Depression. But my former colleague, deceased, but a brilliant man, Milton Friedman, pointed out in print and in lectures, I must have heard him say this 4 or 5 times in person, that tariffs they were a minor factor in the Great Depression. Most of it was monetary policy, too few dollars. There wasn't enough money, and people were hoarding money, etc. But his other point was it was wild speculation in Wall Street. So my point is that the more Wall Street lectures us about depressions and tariffs cause depression, I want to say to them, no, you did. You caused depressions because you had wild stock swings. Does anybody believe some of these stocks that are being offered to the public are actually worth that? If you look at the actual earnings of companies and you look at their stock valuation, they're way off. So they are just headed toward a reconciliation, a reckoning. It's not the tariffs that are going to cause it, and it didn't cause it in the Great Depression. The other thing is, what I don't understand, maybe you can answer the question, Sammy, is simply this. Why is the world not angry at the people who started the tariffs and have asymmetrical, but they're angry at the target that is finally replying?
I do have an answer for that. The United States is the strongest country in the world and expected to be paternal to the rest of the nations.
Okay, so we're going to be a patsy for long because we think it's 1947 forever, and we're right after World War II, flush with cash, and we're a colossus striding the entire world, and that's in perpetuity? No. The other thing is that I don't understand is the word tariff even appropriate? So I'll give you an example. If Europe has a 10%, 8% tariff on cars, and we say we're going to do the same thing, is it a tariff, or is it just, are we just doing what you do? What I'm getting at is tariffs classically as defined, and we're going back to the Smoot-Hartley Act, they were 40 and 50%, and they were unilaterally on the United States to protect industry after the 1930, after the stock market crash. These aren't unilateral, preemptive, provocative tariff. They are a reaction, and they're reciprocal. So I don't even know what they're saying. It's like we're on autopilot. We just say, we don't believe in tariffs, but all we're going to do is whatever tariffs you have, it's going to mirror image you. So it's your tariff.
I'm gonna wait see if some more people gonna come up in here. Put it way in the back.
Reaction in the meantime to that Liberation Day speech, which is the Dow or the stock markets have seemed to have responded by dropping a little bit.
1,600 points today on Thursday, which we're doing it.
Europe and China have sent out the signal that they are going to retaliate possibly. So this looks like it's going to turn into a very big part of Donald Trump's administration. I was wondering your thoughts on this.
I have some questions about this. Number one, if tariffs are so bad, then why isn't the economy of China, Vietnam, India, and Europe crashing? Because they have tariffs up to 200, 300 in some aspects like Canada, but 20, 30%. So why aren't they saying, why aren't they having a discussion in China or Europe? This is bad. This is like the Smoot-Hartley Act, or we can't do this. Classical libertarian economics say tariffs are terrible, Europe. Why aren't they having that internal discussion? But they're not. Apparently, they think tariffs are very good. It's only our tariffs that are bad. That's the first thing. The second is they keep saying Great Depression, Great Depression, Great Depression, 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 Depression. You're going to cause a depression. Well, we're going to talk about the Great Depression. But my former colleague, deceased, but a brilliant man, Milton Friedman, pointed out in print and in lectures, I must have heard him say this 4 or 5 times in person, that tariffs they were a minor factor in the Great Depression. Most of it was monetary policy, too few dollars. There wasn't enough money, and people were hoarding money, etc. But his other point was it was wild speculation in Wall Street. So my point is that the more Wall Street lectures us about depressions and tariffs cause depression, I want to say to them, no, you did. You caused depressions because you had wild stock swings. Does anybody believe some of these stocks that are being offered to the public are actually worth that? If you look at the actual earnings of companies and you look at their stock valuation, they're way off. So they are just headed toward a reconciliation, a reckoning. It's not the tariffs that are going to cause it, and it didn't cause it in the Great Depression. The other thing is, what I don't understand, maybe you can answer the question, Sammy, is simply this. Why is the world not angry at the people who started the tariffs and have asymmetrical, but they're angry at the target that is finally replying?
I do have an answer for that. The United States is the strongest country in the world and expected to be paternal to the rest of the nations.
Okay, so we're going to be a patsy for long because we think it's 1947 forever, and we're right after World War II, flush with cash, and we're a colossus striding the entire world, and that's in perpetuity? No. The other thing is that I don't understand, is the word tariff even appropriate? So I'll give you an example. If Europe has a 10%, 8% tariff on cars and we say we're going to do the same thing, is it a tariff, or is it just, are we just doing what you do? What I'm getting at is tariffs classically as defined, and we're going back to the Smoot-Hartley Act, they were 40 and 50%, and they were unilaterally on the United States to protect industry after the 1930, after the stock market crash. These aren't unilateral, preemptive, provocative tariff. They are a reaction, and they're reciprocal. So I don't even know what they're saying. It's like we're on autopilot. We just say, we don't believe in tariffs, but all we're going to do is whatever tariffs you have, it's going to mirror image you. So it's your tariff. So Canada, if you have a 258% tariff on American butter, it's autopilot. We'll do the same to you. And if you don't, we won't. But we're going to be completely on autopilot, reactive. And that's pretty much what we are doing. I don't even think tariff is the right word for it. And the other thing is, they keep talking about the Hartley Act in 1930, but if you look at those tariffs, like I just said, they were astronomical. They weren't 10%. They weren't even 25. They were 40 and 50%. And this is a whole different world right now. I'm more worried about the stock market being overvalued and a whole generation of young people between the two coasts that are not getting married, they're not having children, they can't buy a home, they have not had a rise in real wages from 2015, from 2005 to 2017 until Trump came in, there was no rise in middle wage adjusted for inflation.
And that's what I'm worried about. See, when it comes to that stuff, it's just like I heard people complaining about the prices of this and the prices of that. But look, like I was talking to my dad the other day, and I'm telling him because he had some concerns about the tariffs and the economy, because even with the business, he had to pay an extra amount for some steel and whatnot. But it's just like I'm telling them, like, look, I'm gonna be here longer than you. And ever since I've graduated high school, things have become stagnant. Wages haven't gone up. Some people's lives have gotten better. I'm not because everybody isn't, in a bad situation, but the majority of people in my generation have had it hard. And it's really no fault of their own. Some of us, yeah, but for a lot of us, it's the economy because everybody isn't a scholar. Everybody isn't, a math genius. Some of us are just everyday workers. And back in the times of my pops and his brothers and sisters, when they started working, it was easy. Just get you a regular job fresh out of high school. You could have a family, you could have a house, you can enjoy the whole American lifestyle, what they say, the white picket fence and all. But now it's not like that. You have to actually have either a spouse to help you. You can't do it on your own. You know, you- and people don't want to get with somebody because everybody is in a bad place. They just feel like I have to. It's almost like you're forced to be with someone. Then when it comes to being a man, you could get married, things could get taken away from you, and then here you go, you starting over again. So yeah, this whole tariff situation, me personally, I don't have a problem with it. I understand that it may affect us in the beginning and it may harm some of us. Not harm us in a way like be very hurtful, but you may have to pay a little bit more for some things. But it's a price tag that comes with trying to bring yourself out of something like this. And I would rather spend American any day, like I always say. And we do consume way too many products. We don't make enough. And on the opposite end, China doesn't consume enough. They make a lot of products. So they're at the mercy of us as well. So if we're not buying their stuff, that means a lot of jobs will start coming back. People need to start being more manufacturing. We need to have more manufacturing over here because they love saying, "Oh, we don't manufacture enough." We used to. I used to work for a tire company down here. It went overseas. My mom was working there too. They went on strike. It went overseas. So look, it's cool with me. I need my future, my finances, and everything to be better in the future. So I'm willing to make the sacrifice right now, just so I can have something later. Most of the people who are complaining, they've had the good jobs. They got the big 401ks. They good. They just don't want things to change. They so stuck in their ways. They don't care. Forget forget the new people. I'm not worried about that. I need to keep my money, even though they got enough money. See, people in my generation and Lord, it's a struggle.
What good does it do to dump all this stuff, free trade stuff, from China and Vietnam, for example, and Mexico in the United States and say it keeps consumer prices down if wages haven't risen commiserately. So we don't get any break by cheaper prices if the wages are flat. And so, and I don't mean California artificially raising the minimum wage and driving everybody out. I'm talking about free market economics. And wages have not gone up, and they haven't gone up because people are outsourcing and offshoring. So there are cultural, economic, and social considerations. There's a reason why we're losing not just the cartels' machinations, but there's a reason why a person takes a drug. There's a reason why the suicide rate is at record levels. There's a reason why males of the working classes between 18 and 30 are completely a lost generation. And it's because they don't get up in the morning and think, I'm going to build a plant. I'm going to build a natural gas generator. I'm going to and I'm going to get an adequate wage. And I can buy a house. That's gone.
Somebody had to say it. Somebody had to say it. People in my generation is really a lost generation. He's telling the truth. Why do you think so many people, especially from my generation, specifically the millennials, some people I still know are still selling drugs in the streets? You know why? Because it's not beneficial to get up and go to work every day. They would love to. They would love to get up and go to work every day, have a family, enjoy life, be able to take their family out to dinner, go on vacations. Because you got to think, people in the millennials, we grew up like that. Our parents had the decent jobs, took us on. I remember going on vacation every summer. My dad had a regular job, going on vacation every summer, always doing something, even probably on days when they was just off for a few days. We was going somewhere. I remember going to Arkansas, Little Rock. I went to all of these places. Most people in my generation can't do the same thing that they experienced. So they turn to, I might as well just sell some drugs so I can still live their life. And you see it. Like I say, the people I know, they do what they do. You'll see them on Instagram, Facebook. They taking their girl and their kids. They in Cancun. They done went to Mexico. They living their life. But you can't do that like you seen your parents do. Millennials, a lot of us can't do what we seen our parents do. Sure, you got some people who just don't want to do anything. You're going to always have that type of person that's just lazy. But like I say, everybody isn't a scholar. Everybody isn't the type to go to school. Some of us just get up and go to work every day. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. But in this country, it used to be if you was just an average everyday Joe, you could have a family, a house, a car. You could do vacations. You could take care of the family. Your wife didn't even have to work. Now everybody has to work. Nobody can just hang out anymore. Everybody got to get up and find something to do.
That's been gone. So this is a class thing. It really is. Donald Trump, mirabile dictu, I can't believe he did it. As a classical Republican, he's not classical Republican, but what Donald Trump did was he said this Republican is going to side on this Republican is going to choose the side of the working man. It's not going to choose Wall Street. Wall Street hates Donald Trump. Have you ever seen anybody in this audience that's watching or listening? Has anybody?
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people have viewed this as just basic. Because with the invention of the internet, Instagram, you see people living their lives. It's not good enough. They want to live the rich lifestyle. But even with that, though, Charles, the reality is you still can't live the same way that your parents did. because getting up every day and going to work, it is a basic lifestyle. Because you if you have a regular 9 to 5 and you just an average earner, you're not going on a bunch of vacations. You're not taking a bunch of trips. And the people who are doing that, they in debt. They borrowing money, credit cards. See, my parents, they didn't have to do that. They just had the extra cash. Oh, we finna go over here. Y'all ready? Come on, let's go. They buying everybody outfits. Everybody got a new outfit just to go somewhere. I don't even see people doing that no more. I remember every time it was event, Easter in Texas, we got Juneteenth. I can remember Juneteenth pictures. Every time it was Juneteenth, we bought a whole family outfit. Now they'll just buy shirts. Everybody just get a shirt. Man, we used to buy outfits. I gotta find a picture and show it to y'all. We used to have outfits. Everybody getting an outfit, shoes and all. And we going out and we go all look the same or somewhat the same.
Anybody ever in their wildest imagination think that Democrats would be on the floor of the Congress blasting Donald Trump and worried that Wall Street's going to be hurt and not talking one word about the working classes that are all for this because they think finally somebody's listening. And the final thing is, has it had any effects? Donald Trump says $4 trillion in foreign investment. The figures I've seen are commitments. They're not actualizations yet, but 3.1 trillion. If that comes in 3.1 trillion, there'll be millions of jobs that come in here for people to avoid these tariffs. Because he's just saying, if you come in the United States and you want to help us, you can keep the profits. You just have to have the jobs here. If you're Mercedes-Benz and you get a 3 to 8% profit on your sales, fine. But the cost and the services and the labor is going to be here. You're going to pay for things here. And so it's going to be a boon to the interior of America. And the Democrats, because they have no other alternative agenda, they are taking the side of the uber rich, even while they blast oligarchs and aristocrats and plutocrats. No, you're on the side of plutocrats and aristocrats. You guys were the party of globalization under Bill Clinton that started it all off. You were the people who thought globalization was neat because you could wean the billionaire class over your side, which is about 70% of them are on their side. So they are speaking in their interest. They're not speaking for the people of Pennsylvania or Michigan or Wisconsin, the working people.
So then just a few more things about the tariffs that are being applied to countries. Donald Trump has chosen not to apply those tariffs to Russia, Cuba, China, and North Korea, or Belarus, not China, Belarus and North Korea.
Russia.
And I was wondering.
And Russia.
And Russia, yes.
Well, ostensibly, we don't. I'm not saying that we don't have leakage through third parties, but we have trade sanctions on those countries. So there's no point in, we're not trading with them because they're under the Biden administration, once they invaded, we leveled trade sanctions against. And Trump has said that he would even go beyond that and put sanctions on anybody who does trade with Russia, i.e. buys their oil. Then they would have sanctions put upon them by us. So it would be redundant. In North Korea, we don't let things from North Korea come in. And of course, the left says this is Putin's puppet. He's not putting things on Russia. He's putting things on Great Britain because Russia is already sanctioned. And Trump, to get them back into the negotiations, he's going to sanction them even harder. He's doing things that nobody on the left ever thought. Did Joe Biden ever say, Joe Biden almost, if you read the secret history of the Ukraine war as it appears in the New York Times, Joe Biden was authorizing types of strikes where he was getting messaging from the Russian military not to do that because they were going to go to DEFCON, their version of DEFCON 1. He just ignored it. Or whoever was running the country, he wasn't. But my point is that I didn't hear any Democrat in the Senate said we're going to sanction any country that buys Russian oil or gas. partly because the Europeans were blasting us for not giving enough money while they were secretly buying Russian natural gas and oil, and they didn't want to be sanctioned.
So, Victor, I was wondering if you thought that there would be special impact on farmers or how is this going to impact farmers? Are they for or against these tariffs?
I would say most of them are probably against them because it's in the media. But if you look at the entire economic plan that people are proposing about the extension of the tax cuts, there are elements within that package of immediate depreciation for the purchase of tractors and things that'll be, in the long run, favorable to them. But right now, if you have a Massey Ferguson that's assembled in Canada, or you've got a Kubota tractor and you need parts and they come in here, they're going to be more expensive. I don't know how much people are talking about, but in the case of a house, it might be $10,000 more to pay the extra price on bolts and nuts and nails until domestic production either increases or those companies decide to put those factories here. That could be done very quickly because there's so much unused manufacturing places in the Rust Belt. You could have a Japanese company go into Michigan or Wisconsin or any of those places. They'll probably go into Tennessee or the South because
Biden never did it, Charles. But Trump did it. But just like he said, Trump is the guy who's the puppet. He's working with Russia. He's working with Putin, remember?
of the unions, but they can find all of these abandoned places, fix them up, or build new ones. They could do it immediately. Within a year, they could do it if they wanted to. But the thing about it is, I have 40 acres of almonds, and it produces, I don't know, on an excellent year, almost 3 tons. We're talking about 120 tons. It's not very much, but we have 1.1 million, maybe it was 1.5. I think it's down to 1.2 million acres of almonds. And tariffs did not make the almond price collapse. Overproduction did. And so what happens is if you have almonds or walnuts or pistachios or raisins and they go down to the port of LA, the Koreans, the Indians, the Chinese just go along with clipboards and they look at all of the cargo ships. They look at the cargoes, the big crates, and they count them and they think, what is the shelf life of a pistachio? How long has it been sitting here? Oh, in about 6 months, we'll offer them 75 cents on the dollar. That's what they're doing because of overproduction. And they have tariffs too. Anything that competes with their agriculture, they have tariffs. And one final thing, this idea, that post-war idea, is so ossified that we take the hit and we allow these countries to create these production, assembly, manufacturing centers, and then we take American capital out of the United States and develop them over there in these centers, and then they send it back here cheap. And this process then is going to make these countries like Vietnam more affluent or China more affluent. Now I'm parroting George H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton. And in that affluence, they naturally appreciate the beauties of Western style free market capitalism and, more importantly, democracy. And I have seen zero proof of that. The more we gave concessions to China, the more they rigged their markets and dumped product here below the cost of production. They manipulated the money markets. They stole copyrights. They stole patents. They ran up deliberate surpluses. They didn't believe in capitalism, free market economics. They believed in Napoleonic mercantilism. And did they ever liberalize? Oh, Tiananmen Square was because, I remember this, Tiananmen Square, that was because of the new affluent growing awareness. No, it just made the Chinese, all globalization did to the Chinese is make its military almost the equal of ours. And Vietnam is still run by communists. I haven't seen any of that. I think Mexico all of a sudden They've got $177 billion surplus and there's no cartels, there's no corrupt judges. No. There's no proven demonstrable connection between greater affluence based on mercantilism and then a automatic or a predestined transition to democracy. That's what we were told. You guys out there in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, we're going to have to put you up on the altar of globalism. And you can just go to 7-Eleven and be a clerk or work on the internet, in sales or something, because your jobs were overpriced. You were getting too much. So we outsourced. And now everything's more efficient because capital always goes to the most efficient thing. But the people who say that are never the victims of their own ideology. It's always somebody else in the Midwest or the San Joaquin Valley. And I saw that as a farmer. I saw raisins go $1,420 to $440 in 12 months. And I was a smart blank AS kid with an irrelevant PhD in classical languages, farming on a massive Ferguson. And everybody around me, my Mexican-American friends, would say, Victor, did you get a PhD? Are you a better pruner than I am? I can prune 200 vines. I don't think you can do that. What did they teach you over there at Stanford? That's what they would say to me. And I'd say, you got a point. And they said, who is the fool, you or me? And I said, I am. But the point is, I went up, I think I mentioned that, I went up to the Raisin Administrative Committee, and we had this economist come out, and he was going to lecture us all about how wonderful it is that the free market was going to. And I said, Greece and Turkey are now in the EU, and they're dumping product below. They're getting about, you're a baker, and you want to pay $1,400 for American ton of raisins, or you want to pay $800. But they had actually... the real costs were triple ours because of their regulated economies, but the EU was subsidizing it, so they were dumped here. And I said to them, they have no defense. We're paying for their NATO budget big time in the 80s. And I said, we just bombed Libya, Gaddafi. And you know what? All of these people that are dumping, these EU countries that are dumping product here through subsidies below the cost of production to ruin our industry, they wouldn't let American planes fly over Europe from England. They had to go around the European They were siding with Gaddafi, while we were protecting them from Russia. So we're paying their defense, they're subsidizing product, and this guy says to me, as I said earlier, and what's so weird? I heard it on the radio and driving today and on television. I try to listen to all these different stations. They get these free market people. Now they're Democrats, but they usually are Republicans and they always say that it's going to hurt the consumer because you're going to get cheaper prices, and we're going to get lackadaisical domestic suppliers because they think that they can just raise prices. They're not going to be competitive. And we talk about China and Vietnam and Europe, but they're not. This is not sustainable for their countries to have protectionism because they're not facing market realities. The Buffetts, the winds, the tornadoes of the market. We are. So we're flexible. How'd that work out the last 50 years? Go tell it somebody who was a boiler maker or a steel worker and tell him that he was lazy or that he's better off at $7 an hour or $10 an hour. I'm so sick of that. It's a class thing. And I have this unique or unfortunate experience of being in the Bay Area and on the Stanford campus, listening to this, and then coming back to southwestern Fresno County and seeing the reality of stark poverty and no jobs that pay well, except for government. State of California, $57 billion in debt. But it's still, printing money. I can't print money, borrowing money for everything, Medicaid, everything.
Yeah. Victor, before we go to a break and then to your middle segment on the Great Depression, the last question I had was, did you notice I was skimming over the tariffs to be applied in all the countries and their tariffs, and it seemed to me that the countries that had the highest tariffs against the United States, and you kind of touched on this, were Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam. But and somebody could argue, well, they're communist states, of course, but then Taiwan as well, which is not. And it's all these Asian states. And is there any, there are some that were not Asian, but it's predominantly with the highest ones, those Asian states. And I know that they would
Well, their
make an
logic was simply when they
infant
started, they're not all
industry.
communists.
Yeah.
Thailand, but Taiwan's not communist. Thailand, Taiwan, but their attitude. What was their model? Their model was China, and their attitude was this: well, if China is a belligerent to the United States and a rival, and the United States doesn't trust it, and China gets away with 10, 20, 30% tariffs on certain things, then why wouldn't our friends or neutrals like us get the same break? See, that's what people don't understand. Once you start to do it and you work at a disadvantage, and some of the people that you're working at a disadvantage of are your hostiles or belligerents or enemy or opposition, then your friends say, well, why would you treat your enemy better than us? So we're going to do it too. So they got on. And then the second thing was, when we started to have frostier relations, some people started to relocate to Southeast Asia for cheaper wages. And they thought, wow, this is really good. We've got a lot of money coming in. Maybe we'll put barriers because we're kind of insulated now. First of all, the United States doesn't believe in retaliatory tariffs. And number two, we've got all this foreign investment coming in. So we can afford to be a little bit protectionist of our, small scale industries, agriculture, because they're not going to retaliate against us, and we've got all this infusion for relocation from China and assembly. Same thing with Mexico. So I just don't understand the logic. This is why I'm so confused.
I would like to see that
The
too,
world is
Charles.
angry at the people who say no mas, and all you have to, and Carolyn Levitt's been very good at that. I don't know if the press secretary, I really like her. She just kept saying reciprocity, reciprocity, reciprocity. With her little chart, she puts them up, and why are you mad at us? We're just doing what you do. And, even the only country that I'm ambiguous about somewhat is Australia. I did last night Sky News of Australia. I love Australia. That's the Pew polls show that of all countries in the world, we have the fondest favorability, most favorable feelings, reverence for Australia. Okay, they run a $16 billion deficit with us. And so why did we have a tariff on them? Because one of their biggest industries, of course, is beef. And in 2003, there was a case of mad cow disease from a Canadian imported cow. And so they went, and I don't blame them, they went ballistic. So they said no more beef. But then Donald Trump said, if you look at the Chinese and if you look at the Europeans and if you look at everybody, they go into little weird things like, oh, you can't have a chicken in a cage this size, or this environmental can't leave this much carbon footprint, or you can't have, you might have a swine flu or a bird flu outbreak, and they find little things like that. You think that 345 million Americans that eat meat all the time are going to get mad cow disease? No. But Australia used that. And so for the next 22 years, they haven't allowed our beef to go in.
So what he's saying is a lot of these countries, not only do they use tariffs against us, but they use like these laws to put tariffs on us by saying, oh, your beef has to be this kind of way, or the chicken, like he said, has to be in a certain size cage. And, they come up with all of these things to put tariffs on our industry because they produce a lot of that in their country. Like Australia produces a lot of beef. So to protect their beef, they'll find any and every excuse to charge more for our beef so that they don't buy our beef and they instead just end up buying Australian beef. you know. But on top of that, then they do us wrong by anything that we import over there. They put a big tariff on it, so we can't make no money. Period. But we let them send stuff over here all the time with no tariffs because that's what was going on. Everybody was tariffing our exports to their countries, but we wasn't tariffing any of their imports to ours. So we just consuming everything. You can sell anything you want to, make all the money you want off American people, but we can't make no money off of you. And that's what he's saying. And see, when it comes to China, they tariff all our exports. Then on top of that, they steal intellectual property. So whatever we invent and make, they clone it, basically, sell it back to us, and people buy it. So you got people that's buying all of this fake stuff, just like shoes. I can remember selling the fake Jordans. When I tell you, you couldn't tell the difference. I promise you couldn't. Every now and then you would see like a little imperfection in the shoe. But for the most part, you couldn't tell. Only way people really knew that it wasn't an authentic shoe, I guess, from Jordan Nike, was because of the colors. They would say, "Oh, they didn't make that color. They didn't do that colorway right there." That's the only way they know. But if you had the same shoe, same color, you couldn't tell the difference because I used to buy them. You could pick whatever shoe you wanted. It was a website I used to get it from. It took like a month to come to your house. The boxes, even the boxes was fake. Well, they probably wasn't fake. It was probably just the same way because when I used to get the boxes and stuff, they were just all flat. The shoes it was like a big, like they just wrapped a bunch of plastic around a bunch of shoes and a bunch of boxes. All the boxes was flat. You had to put all of the boxes together. You had to fold them up. I know y'all seen the Jordan boxes, how they had you probably wasn't paying attention, but it was, it was basically just folded up together. Like the top would fold in, the sides would fold in, but when it came in, it was all just a flat piece of cardboard. So me and my friends, we were selling the J's. We would sit there, put all the boxes together, then put the shoes, match the boxes with the shoes and the sizes. But if we got the same colorways, nobody could tell, and people would spend the same amount. But I was honest. I told them, look, these are not the real ones. Just give me $100. You ain't even got to give me that. So I was making a killing. I would just give me $100. They would buy it. But that's what they do. They steal our intellectual property. So they taxing our exports, and then stealing our intellectual property, stealing what products we make, and duplicating them and selling them back to us. So now they doing that, and we losing jobs because people want to get their cheap products. That's why all of these people say, well, we don't make nothing over here. And even if they did, it would cost too much. Yeah, but then it would stop being made over there. People would keep making it over here. You would make more money eventually over time. And you get a better quality of product because even when it comes from over there, you're getting inferior materials put on that. And they don't care how they making that shit over there to send it back to us. But people, they don't see that. And they really don't even care. People just want to keep getting their cheap shit.
At all. So Trump said the other day, I like Australia, but they're using an archaic, calcified idea as an excuse to keep out competition from American beef. And I live 8 miles from the Harris Beef Corporation, which is the largest beef corporation west of the Mississippi in terms of actual tonnage of beef produced. It's right here on McCall Avenue, not very far from my house. John Harris sold it about 4 years ago to a local company. But if you talk to the people who ran it, I won't mention their names, they're wonderful people. And John Harris is he's known as a cattle baron, agribusiness person, but he's known foremost as a man of integrity. He's just a sui generis. He's a different type of person. He's always had a high moral code. And we mentioned Carol Harris, that recently deceased. She did too. Very generous people. The idea that they were producing beef there that might have that is insane. That is one of the most up-to-date, clean, automated, and he's even got They even had PhDs in animal science to see that the way that the animals were dispatched was humane. You know, I think they even had an animal psychologist that come in and make sure that the animals weren't too apprehensive as they were led to their next life. But my point of it is, so Australia would say that you can't have any American beef, no Harris beef. That's insane. And so that's why there's all these things that Trump is saying, I got 4 years. I'm going to be reciprocal. It's madness. And think one last thing. Everybody take a deep breath. He could have been like Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan did a lot of good things, but he didn't cut the budget. He didn't try to balance the budget. And he didn't try to shock the world into treating us the way that we treat them. George W. Bush came in. He did a lot of good things, deregulate, but the deficits went up, just like they did during Trump's first term, partly or mostly due to COVID. And we got into optional ground wars, which I supported in Iraq after 9/11 and Afghanistan. So my point is this is the first, and George H.W. Bush, he kept talking about capital gains tax, capital gains tax, capital gains tax, but not offshoring or offsource. This is the first Republican that said, we've all been playing musical chairs, and this music's going to go off. And when it goes off, there's no seat for the United States with $37 trillion in debt and a $1.1 trillion, or somewhere between $900 billion versus.
No, I don't think it's going to be a trade war. Because like I was listening to another guy, it wouldn't benefit them to keep doing that. Because we buy most of their product. Like I say, they're big manufacturers. But without us buying it, they don't make no money. So if we don't buy it, if we don't buy anything made in China because the price is too high, they just shooting themselves in the foot. And that's why other countries have lowered theirs, because what they realized is China does make a lot of stuff. America is the big consumer. They even buy stuff from us. China wanted other countries to side with them and raise the tariffs, but they realized America buys too much of everybody's shit. If they don't buy it, then we lose. So why side with China when you can side with America, who's really the global power? And hell, at the same time, we'll just undercut them. We'll make products and send it over there. How about that? Because China has been undercutting a lot of countries, not just us. They steal intellectual property and duplicate other products from other countries as well, not just us. They're what you call bad actors.
$1.5 trillion that undulates in trade deficit. So he's the first person who said, I am going to common sense wise or comprehensively take a look at everything that is plaguing the United States. The border, no more cheap labor under the Bushes and Reagan. I looked at them as I've debated. My friend Alan Simpson, he was one of my close friends. I debated him on the Simpson-Mazzoli in front of a group. I really loved him. He was a wonderful person, but I think that bill was wrong. But he's the first person that said there's going to be no illegal immigration. We're going to follow the law. He's the first person that said we just want to be treated the way they treat us on trade. He's the first person that said the federal government's 3 million employees. It's out of control. And we can't run these deficits. None of the other Republicans did it. And yet you pick up the Wall Street Journal, you think he'd be public enemy number one. I don't understand it at all. I don't understand why people are saying, yes, he tweets too much or he says this or that. I can understand that. But why don't they see what he's trying to do? And why don't they compare what he's trying to do with past presidents? Why doesn't the Wall Street Journal, like the Democrats, why don't they just say, this is the Wall Street Journal's alternate plan? We believe either they have to do one of two things. We don't think trade deficits are a problem at all. We don't mind at all. It's like we said, it lowers consumer prices, it makes us more efficient. Then just say that. Or we don't think budget deficits are that bad. You can always borrow. You don't need to cut like this and this and that, because they're always criticizing his cuts and stuff. Or why don't they say we can manage $3 billion? Or the defense budget, it's the same as the annual interest payout. That's no big problem. But they don't. All they do is attack. Well, come up with a constructive alternative. Or if you can't, say the status quo was fine. It was all Trump's imagination. Trade was great. Deficits were no problem. Interest borrowing, no problem. The border was fine. We got a lot of cheap labor, great demographics. Just say that. But they don't.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. They don't care. They don't care. And that goes to the point of the title of this show. Americans, especially the people who sell you things over here, who call themselves mom and pop, they're bad actors as well. And I always said this, and I was listening. I saw a clip of Anton Daniels, and I said this. To me, they're treasonous as well. They can find somebody to make this stuff over here, but they just want to say, "Oh, it's gonna cost too much. I just get it from China." So you rather spend money in another country than to help your own people and provide jobs over here. And then the people who's buying it is agreeing with it because they don't want to spend anymore. Like, but you're shooting yourself in the foot. What if we bought what we made, which could, let's just say it could be your son working at this factory, making more. Would you mind spending more then? Because your kids got a good job over here? That's what they don't tell you. They don't tell you if we made some of this stuff over here. All they say is, oh, the price is gonna go up. But yeah, it would be jobs over here, and they would pay more. And you would get better quality because of our standards. They don't care about that. We so accustomed to getting everything cheap. I want to spend pennies on a dollar for everything. Have you ever went somewhere and you saw something that was cheap and you saw something that was a little bit more expensive and then you end up buying a cheaper version of it, and once you used it and it broke real quick, you realized I was better off just spending the extra 10 bucks because it will still work. Instead, I didn't spend the 10 bucks, and now I only got one or two uses out of it. That's it. Charles said, I know that it sounds crazy, but do you think China is bold enough to make their people suffer just so they don't have to bow down to the United States? Yep, I think they will do something like that. I think they're willing to do that. In the end, it would just be bad for them because it would eventually create some type of an uprising. Because those people over there can't even afford what they make now. Don't they have like a what is it? Real estate crisis. They got a lot of real estate, but nobody's buying it. It's empty buildings, empty houses. Yeah, me too. But it depends. For me, it depends on what it is. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like when it comes to certain food products, some stuff I'm like, that's the same. Like some milk or something like that. I'm like, I'm just gonna get the gravy. I don't need to get like some type of fancy brand or some type of food, particular foods. Not all, but some of them. Because you get that great value stuff when you get to like tools or something. That shit is gonna be made in China. So you get the cheap, great value tool when you could have got the what's a brand name of tool? The like a Craftsman or a DeWalt or a Milwaukee or something like that. Then sometimes you'll even realize that some of those products are made in China. They just put the name on it. Then that's when you find some other tool, like some name you ain't never even heard of. You buy that tool, read it, made in USA. It's got good quality. It lasts longer. A good ratchet set, it won't break. Have you ever bought a cheap ratchet set and it said made in China? Put one of them sockets on the nut and turn that bitch. The damn socket gonna bust. You gonna have all kind of busted sockets. I've done it. I tried to get away. I tried to buy me a little cheap ratchet set. I'm talking about something wasn't even tight. The damn socket busted. You gotta get that old school. What is it? That Pittsburgh. Get you that Pittsburgh ratchet set. That good old USA. What's up, Dark Kent? What's going on? But yeah, I think people just want to buy a bunch of cheap shit, bro. That's just me. People want to buy a bunch of cheap shit, and the folks that's selling us stuff, they want to get it from China so they can get a cheap price. They want to maximize their profits because everything is for profit over here. We live in a capitalist society, so people they just can't get over the fact that they want to make the most amount of money. Just like Anton was saying, people, especially the black community, it doesn't even circulate enough. Just think about it. If I bought my hair products, my brushes, and stuff from a black person, it may cost me a couple of bucks more, but hopefully that they would be buying it from an American manufacturer. But at the same time, that would have jobs in our community. It would keep that black business open. It would put money in his pocket, make money so he could better his family. In return, maybe my kid could work at that store or any type of job that would be in the black community. Instead, you have an Asian who's sending money back to China, probably buying products from China. That money goes out and it stays out. Charles say, I think that there's going to be a lot of people taking themselves out in China if this continues because honestly, I just don't see China cowering. Yeah, it is. They'll make that sacrifice on their own people. A lot of those Asian countries will do that. I believe that. I definitely believe that. I think, especially black people, we got to get over the fact that yeah, we need to spend more money within ourselves so the dollar can circulate more. Look at the Jewish community. They spend money with each other so much that damn near everybody got money. If you know a broke Jewish person, you just you your mind is just you just like what? I went to school with a girl. I didn't realize she was Jewish. Her name was obviously Jewish, but her dad has a simple cookie shop, and they wealthy. I seen the house that they used to stay in. I mean, he got a little bitty cookie shop, but people love these cookies so much. You have to call it in. You can't just go up there and just buy some cookies. You have to say, man, I need a dozen of these. Have them. Can I have them? By he's okay, yeah, just cookies. Like, but think about it. He probably buys his ingredients from a Jewish person. I mean, it's a whole ecosystem with whatever you do within your community. That's how you get rich. You can't get rich just outsourcing. I'm gonna buy it because it's cheap over here. I'm gonna buy it from these people. So I'm gonna just suck my community dry and then say that they broke and cheap. And they don't want to spend no money. Yeah, man, all these major cities got a Chinatown. Like Claude Anderson said, I can go all over the country and find a Chinatown, Indian town, all these other towns, but you can't never find a black town. You know why? Because all the black folks is in Chinatown buying shit. See, we black people, we get off on that. Nigga, I bought some Louis, some Gucci. What about this black dude who makes some? I don't want that shit, man. That nigga, man, hell no, I ain't buying that shit, nigga. Fuck, I look like buying that shit. Nigga, I'm finna get a Louis Vuitton bag, nigga. I remember for a moment, all them women was talking about Vera Wang or whatever the fuck. I'm about to buy Gucci this and Gucci that. Give a fuck. That goes back to that whole crabs in the bucket mentality. I ain't finna make no another nigga rich. If a nigga gonna be rich, it's gonna be me. That's it. And say, bro, we are never going to let that black dollar circulate like Jewish people do because we push too many black stereotypes into reality, and you know you can't trust in niggas. Yep. They wanna be with other groups. That's why you got niggas who was doing gang activity and shit calling themselves Gotti and all of these Italian crime bosses. They calling themselves after them. Even when it comes to that, they want to be like other people. Nigga, I'm like John Gotti, nigga. If it's a black cookie shop in your neighborhood and a white cookie shop in your neighborhood and they charge the same price, everybody gonna go to the white cookie shop. And the white cookie shop dude could fuck up some cookies one day. And niggas will give him a second chance. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. The black cookie shop nigga gonna get mad. Man, I ain't never going over there again. That nigga messed my cookie, man. Hell no. That's why I can't do it, man. I can't do it. Then on top of that, even the black people who own the businesses, they can't get right. Because they'll treat you like crap. Bad customer service. We gotta be real now. Got an attitude. So it's both sides. The customer and the owner do the same thing. The customer raising hell, and the owner got bad customer service. Don't even want to treat you right. And black folks, when you doing business with other black people, stop trying to get a damn deal. Just pay the money. When you dealing with black folks or dealing with your own community, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more. It's like we the only people that don't understand that. I'm pretty sure Jewish people, white people, everybody else understand when you're doing business with your own people, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more. Only we do that. Man, nigga, I can go over here to the Asian cat, man. $2 cheaper. All right, let's just go over there. But what about your community? What about this? This is a job and I don't give a fuck about that. Shit, nigga. I'm trying to keep my money. Man, why there ain't no black businesses around here, man? We ain't got nobody that sell this and sell that. We ain't got enough black people to do. Y'all don't want to support them. Y'all don't want to support them. Niggas hate niggas. But like I say too, even the black business owners got shady practices. Not all of them. There's some people that do good business, but the ones who do good business, we don't support them like we should. If we do, we only do it for a certain amount of time, and then we realize, damn, they making some money. I ain't doing that. I can't make no other nigga rich. If I no, it's gonna be me. I got to be the one that's getting rich. I ain't finna sit up here and watch no another nigga get rich. No, oh no, oh no. But they black. Mm-mm. I remember that nigga in high school when that nigga said something to me, man. Nah, I can't let that. Nah, mm-mm. I can't let him do that. Niggas make too much money. We gotta shut them down. You remember back then when they had the music, all the black music artists, and people was burning CDs? I didn't even realize we was wrong for that. Burning they damn CDs and selling them, duplicating them. I was the main culprit. My daddy had bought me a CD burner for that damn computer. I used to be on my computer all the time. I come home, people wanted a mixtape. If they wanted the whole CD, I got to the point where I had enough money to go buy the CD. I had the duplicator where you put the real CD in the top, put the blank in the bottom, push them both in, hit the program, copy it to the other CD. Man, I need that 50 cent. Boom. Okay, bet. I got you. You want a mixtape? Okay, write down every song you want. I got 56K modem. Take me 5 or 6 hours to download one song. Man, I couldn't wait to get off the bus. Get in the house, get on Napster, Kazaa, LimeWire, type them in, download them. Probably wouldn't get done till the middle of the night. I get up, pop a CD in there, make that mixtape, wake up, that one be done, get up. When I get up, take a shower, set up another CD for somebody, take them to school. Then I had got the one that had like 6 CDs. You could do 6 at a time. Nigga, I'm downloading prank call CDs. I got the whole Ricky Smiley on deck. The whole Ricky Smiley on deck. Everybody eating. CD after CD. Had built up my collection so much of bootlegging all of these songs when people would write down what they wanted. Sometimes I didn't even have to download nothing. I already had the songs on my computer. I just burnt the CD and wrote their name on it. Got my little sleeve. Took it to school. I made $5 on that mixtape. What did that black person get? Nothing. So I was wrong for that. I didn't know no better. I was just a little stupid kid. Happy to be on a computer. Ripping motherfuckers off. That's how I got into DJing. Then I bought the turntables that you could pop the CDs in and scratch and mix. Nigga. Shit. I had all the music. Then they had the program where you didn't even need the CDs. You could scratch the MP3s, mix them, blend them with your turntables. It hooked up to your turntable. I still got it. I got all this illegal music and we rocking out. The black folks who created it ain't getting a dime. So like I say, you just be hitting folks over the head. We gotta so specifically for black folks, we gotta learn how to spend money between each other. And get over the fact that some people gonna get rich. Because that's the goal. The goal is also, once we make that person rich, is for them to turn around and start some type of a business and empower the rest of the people. And it's almost as if it's a never-ending cycle of perpetual growth and money making, because our dollar is circulating so many times within our community that everybody is living a good life. Charles said, "Bro, I had somebody to tell me that they didn't eat at a local chicken place because the dude had enough money that owned it, but went to KFC." Exact, man. That's nigga shit. Black dude probably had better chicken than KFC, but because they thought he was getting fat over there, I'd rather go to KFC and make them even more money than they already got. I'd be damned if I give it to the black dude. I can't do that. I got to give it to KFC. Yeah, let me run down to Chicken Express. Let me go to Golden Chick, Church's Chicken, Popeyes. Even though grandma chicken tastes better than that sometimes. I don't know about everybody, grandma. Grandma chicken be busting. Yeah, let me go over here and get that chicken. That's what we do. Same goes for Americans. We got to learn how to spend money within ourselves, man. That's the truth. I'm gonna play this clip real quick. This is Isaiah Thomas. He was criticizing LeBron James because he was in warm-ups shooting around. He had, I think it was a do-rag or something on his head, and he wasn't in the proper attire really that would be suitable for a professional athlete to be. And I get it, they think, oh, it's just casual, just going out there. But I fully agree and understood what Isaiah was saying when it came to what he spoke on. I do. I agree with him totally. Because a lot of this stuff, when it comes to the culture It needs to be cleaned up. It's a dangerous, dangerous precedent. I really believe that.
Shirts and skins is what they're doing in that way.
I just totally 100% object to this. And if I was the GM or coach,
Me too.
I would never let one of my players walk out on the floor looking like this. I mean, we are a professional NBA league. We ain't summer league. We ain't, you know, at the YMCA.
Listen, I think coaches got to go back to suits. I just mean
Absolutely. You know, I just think
college and pro.
I just think the professionalism in our NBA league has diminished so much. And I look, I like LeBron, I'm a fan of his, so forth and so on. But to walk out on the floor before a game with no shirt on and shoot, I mean, come on, man. Where we at? What we doing? Where we at? Now, if you want to, Adam Silver, if you want to find somebody, find that.
I thought that was funny. I'm going to leave him alone.
Put a fine on that.
Spoken by the Hall of Famer and the greatest player in Pistons history, Isaiah Thomas. Second half has begun between the Bucks and
So what y'all think? Was he right? Was he right? Because I think he was. I agree with him. It's a certain level of professionalism that they need to have. A lot of this shit comes from LeBron. All of this, because he be flopping, they be complaining, always want to be a victim. And I think a lot of these athletes don't realize that they get more and more out of touch with the everyday average American. We sit up here and watch these people on TV every day get to play a game, and they complain as much as they do. Especially the NBA. You got folks sitting out talking about load management. You make millions upon millions of dollars. When we get up and go to work, we can't, I'm load management. Let me call in real quick. I ain't trying to wear myself out. I ain't going to be in for the next 2 days. I ain't trying to wear myself out. I don't know what y'all going to do. Find somebody else. Let's see how that works out for you. Because they get away with stuff like this. Like I say, everyday Americans, we don't get away with shit like this, man. I'm sure LeBron will get mad at that. Why is he criticizing me? He should. Oh, yeah, he got to let that hairline go, man. They always play that little clip of him brushing his hair. He be brushing it hard, too. Like, man, what is you brushing? You ain't got nothing up there. Like the dude ain't got nothing up there, bro. He ain't got nothing up there. But do you think that's appropriate attire? He got a do-rag on, got his shirt off. Sure, ain't nobody in the arena, but still, man, it's certain ways to conduct yourself. And they need to get back to wearing the suits, bro. I think they done wore all of this shit out. Coming up to the games looking crazy. They done wore that shit out, man. They got to change it up. Act like a professional. Man, I remember going to a high school football banquet. And I know some of y'all probably had a football banquet in high school, or if you played basketball banquet at the end of the year. The coach made y'all wear a suit. You had to wear a suit. You had to get dressed up. You had to look presentable. You couldn't just come up there in some regular everyday clothes that you wore to school. Hell, I remember the basketball team on game day, they had to wear suits around campus. They had to be dressed up that day. Act like you been somewhere. Act like you got some respect for yourself. Little stuff like that teaches you something. And we've gotten away from that. Just like in church, it came back. But I remember as a kid, you had to wear something nice. You had to wear a tie, a little shirt, collar shirt. Then it got to the point where you could wear whatever you wanted. But I think they got out of control and people just kind of went back to dressing decent, at least presentable. It wasn't a rule. They never like enforced nothing. You could come as you pleased. But people was getting too out of control with it. Like if the girls had a too short skirt on and they were sitting down, the ushers would come by, put the little whatever it was over their laps. That's embarrassing. You're right. David Stern wouldn't have allowed that. That's this new commissioner. What is it? Adam Silver. He's too player friendly. He didn't let them get away with so much stuff. He's way too player friendly. Way too player friendly. And if people to tell him this, he would get pissed off. Matter of fact, I think LeBron he didn't get pissed off, but he had something to say. Not really, but he spoke on it. See, the old school people, they had a little bit more pride in what they was doing. They had respect for the game. They had respect for themselves. They wanted to teach the people coming up how to conduct yourself. Now, it's a damn free-for-all. You can sit out. You can talk how you want to talk, raise hell. Don't got to abide by no rules. Gang up with the best players in the team on each team. Make a super team. I was one of the people who had an issue with that. I was mad at LeBron in the beginning for that because I was like, bro, I really respected him when he was, with Cleveland and trying to do it on his own, even though they wouldn't give him no help. I wish they would have got him a little bit more help, but I got it why he left. But to join up and make like this super team, I couldn't respect that. I would have rather seen him get with like one other superstar, not two of them. One superstar, that's cool. I get it. Two of them, you just gonna force your way to a ring. It took me a while to get over that. It took me a couple of years before I really liked LeBron. That's why I'm not gonna lie. When he played the Mavericks in their championship series, I was rooting for the Mavericks, and I was glad that they whooped his ass. Because I was thinking, yeah, it don't take a super team to win a championship. They had little JJ Barea out there doing his thing. What the hell? Hold on, y'all. Yeah, so what do y'all think about that? I guess nobody ain't got much to say. I'm not gonna keep lingering on some of this stuff. I'm gonna move on. I got somebody just sent me another video, and then I wanted to play another incident. Another incident. I'm gonna end the show with that one. But this next one. But this next one, I'm going to. It's about a waitress getting attacked behind a $50 bill. Let's see what they talking about. Let's check it out.
A waitress attacked and beaten at a Pilsen restaurant by two female customers who then took off.
A merciless beating caught on camera, all stemming from a dispute over the check. Before fists flew, a disgruntled customer went behind the bar and dunked the waitress's phone into a bucket after she was told she would not be getting a refund. The restaurant alleges both customers had finished most of their takeout order when they demanded a refund. That same customer then takes her frustrations out on the restaurant. She starts making a mess of the place. Employees tell me the waitress began to call 911, escalating the situation into an all-out melee. The beating continued for about 2 minutes, where both women were seen stomping, punching, and kicking the waitress. I came in, and when I heard what was going on, I was able to pull off one of her attackers, When we finally got them separated, one of them turned to me and started swinging. She has a message for those responsible.
Que las vamos a encontrar.
I want them to know we're going to find you, whatever it takes. I'm putting everything I have into this. I have no doubt about it. We're going to find you.
Wow. So they ate the food and then wanted a refund. They ate the food in its entirety and then said they didn't like the food. They wanted a refund. Most people, when you don't like the food, you usually say something right then. You say, hey, they messed my steak up. Can y'all take it back? I wanted it medium rare. I wanted it medium well. Can y'all redo it? So obviously they was running the game. If they even paid for it. So you mean to tell me they ate the food, gave her the money for the bill, and then all of a sudden said they wanted a refund. And then beat her up, assaulted her, and then threw her phone and looked like some tea or something. Ain't that a bitch? This the type of shit that make niggas look bad. This the type of shit that make niggas look bad. I know what you talking about as soon as you came in here. Hold on, I gotta go to the fucking Twitter chat because he can't see it if I type it over here. Hold on, let me go back. But yeah, this the type of stuff that make niggas look bad right here. He laughing. Yeah. I already knew. I do. I know what type of time you be on. That's funny. You say drop the link. Okay, hold on. I'm dropping it. I'll put the link up there. I can't believe they did this. I mean, she literally ate the food, gave him the money, and then demanded the money back. And then when she didn't get the money back, she got pissed off. Both of them got pissed off. The food wasn't that bad if you ate it all. If you didn't like it, then you would have said, take it back now and redo it. Oh, no, she couldn't deny it. Hold on, let me do this pop-out chat over here. I gotta pop that down. They do got behavior issues, bro. You ain't lying. You are not lying. Like, I got relatives like this, bro. I won't even go nowhere with them. I'm just being honest with you. See, people, this is like I've said this before. It's people in my family, bro. They don't like to interact with me sometimes because of some of the stuff I said. Like, it's like, bro, look, I'm not eating nowhere with you because when I go get something to eat, if you the type of person that's gonna raise hell and bitch and complain, I'm not eating there because I don't want my food messed up. If you see when I go to a restaurant and they mess my food up, no matter how mad I am about it, if I want to eat the food, I'm gonna say, ma'am, you know, I'm gonna talk to them real nice. I'm gonna say, ma'am, this is, you know, not quite how I wanted it. Do y'all mind just, you know, redoing this and taking this off, or, you know, they didn't add my cheese or whatever it is. And I talk real nice. And I just wait. But when you get up there and you say, man, y'all did this. Y'all didn't put my stuff on there and I paid for this. And then they take it to the back. And you really trust that after you just screamed at this lady? You don't think that she gonna go back there and say something to these people? I'll be real nice about it. Even in a fast food restaurant. I say, ma'am, you know, they left one of my burgers out of, you know, they gave me a small fry instead of a large fry. So, okay, baby, I'm sorry about that. Oh, man. Man, I'm with you. I hate to see when our people act like this. I hate it, bro. They can call me all kind of names. See, they'll say, man, why you scared of these white? I'm not scared of no white folks. Nigga, I don't want my food messed up. What's wrong with y'all niggas? I don't want my food fucked up because y'all got an attitude with niggas. I want my food to be right. When people who are serving you food, I'm sorry, you got to treat these people with a certain level of respect, no matter how you feel about it. It's just what it is. Because they don't know you, so they'll do something to your food. So when I'm with somebody and I go to a restaurant and they end up raising hell before we get the food, or they acting crazy, or they're the type of people that keep sending food back and I haven't got my food yet, I'm not eating there with you. You just sabotaged the whole table with your bullshit.
Right. Ain't that something, man?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that shit when I saw that, man. I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all
That
eat
shit
the
crazy.
food and then you want to not pay for it. You got an issue with it when it come time to pay for the bill. You
Right.
sat there and ate the shit.
And these would be the same people that'll be like, "Oh, this is some racist shit." Like,
Right,
no,
exactly.
don't try to pull us all in with your bullshit now.
Exactly.
Don't try to pull us all in with your bullshit. Don't do that.
They was
Because we got
100%
real
wrong.
racist issues going on. We got real legitimate stuff that we be talking about when it comes to race issues. And this ain't one of them.
They was dead ass wrong for that.
They was wrong for that. And then to beat her up like that and throw her phone in
Right.
the tea. Like, come
Right.
on, bro. That shit is embarrassing. And I
He
don't
was
see
being extra.
why some people can't speak up more about that, especially like black women. The way that, okay, you got black women like this, or you got Kamala Harris, and you got all of these people that's actually speaking or portraying themselves as black women. I think more black women need to speak up and say, that is not us. I don't know who these people are, but they don't represent us. all of this ratchet shit, like this whole culture, bro, that's not us. But they let them get away with it. You know? I think they let them get away with that shit way too much.
Man, that was crazy, man. I seen that shit, man. That made me want. If I knew them, that made me want to call in on their ass.
I
Just
would.
turn their ass in.
Bro, I would.
If I was related to them, like y'all dead ass wrong.
Hell yeah.
I don't even
I
want to
tell
be
on them,
around
bro.
y'all.
I'm telling you, I'm serious. That's why I say
Right.
people, they don't be liking me. I'm going to be like, look, bro, there they go right
Turn
there.
their ass in. Right. Turn their ass in.
I don't give a fuck. Man, you a coon, nigga. Nah, nigga. That's coon behavior, what you doing.
Exactly. That's
That's coon
exactly what that
behavior.
is.
Yep, you right, Benji. That video, let me find it real quick.
Yeah.
I'm finna play the clip.
Felicia Rashad, she did
Yep.
speak her name.
She
They
didn't
got
say
on her head
nothing
about
wrong, bro. She didn't
nothing
say
wrong.
nothing wrong.
Y'all proved her right by getting on her about it.
They
Morning,
did, bro.
everybody. It's DJ NV, Just Hilarious, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. If you're just joining us, yesterday, Felicia Rashad stopped through the show. We got a chance to sit down and talk with her. And this is one thing she said about the way women dress today. Let's listen.
You know, you came up in an era, Miss Rashad, where dignity and grace were everything. So do you ever look at how wild Hollywood is now and you just think to yourself, boy, y'all got it easy. Y'all wouldn't have got away with that in my day.
Yeah, you'd have to look at Hollywood. I could look at the way young ladies dress.
Mm-hmm.
The young ladies are so beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to be critical, and I hope young ladies listening don't take this as personal criticism, because I don't mean it that way. Mm-hmm. But you're young queens. I'm taken aback when I see on a college campus young women dressed in strips of clothing. Mm-hmm. But more importantly than that, no man wants his woman to be out like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right?
So we're taking your calls, 800-585-1051, and asking, how do you feel? Jess?
I feel like she definitely was spot on, you know. Even if it's not for a man, though. I mean, because I know that she turned to you, Charlamagne, and she asked, you know, would you want your woman out, you know, exposing her body? Not for nothing. It's even for yourselves, you know, like.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck are they talking about, bro? Like, she was right. It's nothing that she said wrong. She didn't say it in a mean way. She didn't say it in some type of way that would offend them. She's just telling the truth. But now the culture is so fucked up that they think it's cool to go out and dress any kind of way. If I can wear the most revealing outfit I can, then that makes me more of a woman. If I'm covering up, then that makes me less of a woman. Don't you know, like, let's say like Kim Kardashian, or, you know, just any women in period. They out here getting fucked and the tape comes out. Don't no man want you after that. Not really. So all the dudes that be wanting that shit, that's crazy to me, because I don't want the chick that everybody done seen get smashed on tape, her titties out. What does that do for me if I'm trying to wipe that up? I don't want that shit. And all she said was the way that they be dressing. They do dress crazy. A lot of these bitches be dressing, they have ass and titties out every chance that they get.
And then when the brothers say they don't, and the brothers say they don't pay them no mind, if you're not getting that attention like that, then you want to label as gay.
Hey, bro, I say that all the time on her. Y'all niggas is gay. They love calling niggas gay because niggas don't want to pay that no attention. Nah, niggas don't want that shit. You for the streets. I don't want something that everybody can see and everybody can have. How is that liberating? Y'all say that y'all on this feminism shit, and that's liberating y'all. How? But NWA FBA says Monique spoke out against black women wearing bonnets in public, and they got mad at her too. Exactly. All she did was tell. What did she say? Baby, don't come in the airport looking like that. That's all she said. Don't go to the store with your PJs on. Why y'all walking around like y'all just got out the bed? And y'all be talking about y'all want a man? It looked like you haven't even brushed your teeth. You haven't done nothing with your hair. You got a bonnet on. You got on PJs and slippers. Benji also say Houston got to be the bonnet capital of the world. When I stayed in, that's all I saw. Bonnets and ratchetness. Coming in places with their bonnets, their PJs on. I don't know who started that. To me, that's dirty because it's like, okay, you got out the bed with your PJs on and you ain't even took no bath. You ain't done nothing. You all in the store. You walking around, like, you probably stink.
Right.
Yeah, you look stink, bro. How would you feel if a nigga just got up, he just had like the clothes, he was in the bed. You could tell. You could tell a nigga ain't combed his hair or nothing. And he all in the store and shopping. You gonna be like, this nigga look dirty than a bitch. He looked dirty. So, man, I don't get it, bro. The culture that we got today is just bad. And if you speak on shit like that, bro, they get mad at you and say that, like I always say, like you cooning or you trying to be white adjacent. No, I'm not trying to be white adjacent. We just saying as black people, we can conduct ourselves better than what's being portrayed out there. All of these people that they pushing out to the forefront, these people with the bonnets, the whole culture, these rappers that's got all they do is twerk. Like that shit be killing me too. Every female I know, you could go find a video or a picture on their page, especially go on Facebook. They got some form of them with their butt poking out, lips pooched out. Like, I don't know about a lot of niggas, but niggas just want to fuck that. Ain't nobody trying to marry no female that's got those type of things going on. I want my female to look pretty, decent, covered up. I'm cool with that. But for some reason, they feel like they got to be showing some type of body parts to get some type of attention. No, like they say, leave something to the imagination. I can see a woman that's fully clothed and be like, damn, ooh, damn, that motherfucker, she bad, boy. She bad. I don't need to see what the cleavage look like or what the booty cheeks look like in some tights. I don't need to see that. I can tell. It's clear as day. You can't hide that shit. You don't need to reveal anything to me. I know you've been trying to say something, bro. Go ahead. I just been going off.
Nah, go ahead, man.
I'm good.
I just she was spot on. What Felicia Rashad said, man. She was spot on. And she was getting a lot of backlash behind that, and it's like, what did she say wrong?
Mm-hmm.
So, and those two sisters who did what they did in that that restaurant. Yeah, I would have turned their ass in if I was related to them.
Yeah, I would have turned their ass in too, bro. I'm with you. This is some bullshit. This is some bullshit.
Totally uncalled for.
Totally. It's embarrassing. Like some people black folks, well, this ain't embarrassing to me. This ain't got nothing to do with me. Yeah, but man, we keep seeing video after video after video after clip of our people doing goofy shit. I'm tired of it. I just am. I swear to God I am. Because you try to defend these people and they just turn around and embarrass you. Like, you remember I did the video about the clip about the guy who left his kids at McDonald's. I'm trying to defend him. Trying to say maybe he was a good guy. Then to come to find out, he done this shit on multiple occasions. Leaving the kids up there. Like, I'm thinking maybe the job was like right across the street and he was in the interview.
Right, trying to give him a benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, trying to give him
brother trying to trying to get some work and so I get it, And then you find out the rest of the, details of the story. This cat was doing this on a regular.
And then when you flip the opposite side of it, and if something like this happened again, and I'd be like, nah, he was wrong. Man, why you doing that, man? You going against a good brother? It's like you can't win in these situations.
It's like, man, accountability is foreign in our community a little bit, and when we start holding people accountable, then you got you a coon and this, that. I mean, even holding yourself accountable, like, I was wrong on that. You know what I'm saying? I fucked up or what have you. But when you hold others accountable and they dead ass wrong, it's like, people don't be trying to that case that situation that happened in Texas with the Carmelo Anthony or whatever. I'm still listening to bits and pieces, with black folks defending self-defense. You know what I'm saying? But I can't get over the part of, why did he bring that knife?
Right.
That right there, that kind of seems like, he coming with the intentions, like, yeah, they fuck with me. Hey, it's, you coming with the intentions to do some type of bodily harm. So, but yeah, man, accountability, man. I don't know. It's a lot of us don't like to accept that.
True. They don't want to accept no accountability, bro. Like you say with that whole Carmelo Anthony situation. Like, why did he bring the knife, bro? I get it. I'm in Texas. I'm not too far from him. Everybody got knives. I know this. We had knives when I was in school. But, bro, when I got into it with somebody, my first instinct wasn't to reach in my bag and get the knife, bro. It just wasn't. We was finna square up. It's like, what's up, nigga? Shit. What you trying to do? I wasn't pulling out my knife like, nigga, touch me, nigga. I'm finna stab you. Like, what? And then on top of that, people didn't even read the police report. So I read the police report, and then I go into spaces and I heard people giving all type of speculation. Well, what if it was this, and what if they was beating on them and they was bullying them? How do you know this? Because it was witnesses that they actually have in the police report. Some of them gave statements, some of them didn't, and others, they just took their names down and they probably gonna interview them later.
I
Then
heard
they
too
also
that
have a video. They have a video of it, I heard.
oh, they got a video. Oh,
I think they got a
okay. I was
video.
going to say that it was speculating that that these white kids, or the white kid that got stabbed, was trying to force him out the tent, and he reacted. So I was like, man, I don't know.
But the truth, this is the truth, Dart. The white boy was definitely the aggressor. That ain't even in question, bro. The white boy, he was definitely the aggressor. Definitely. But I've been bullied. I've been picked on. Somebody was being the aggressor against me. But like I say, my instinct wasn't to go in my bag and get my knife or reach in my side pocket and grab my little pocket knife out. It never was. I'm like, nigga, shit, what's up? What you trying to do? What you trying to do? You know what I'm saying?
It's either you gonna give an ass whooping or take an ass whooping.
That's
in this moment.
is it. So. And if I get beat, then shit, I'm gonna be mad. I might try to fight you again tomorrow because I want to win. But I'm not trying to kill you.
Right. Because I want to get my win back.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that win.
Right.
Shit, because this shit finna go around school. Or if we were somewhere locked up, and nobody didn't see it and you beat me, it is what it is. Hell, I might go around school saying I beat the nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shit, nigga, I won. That nigga lying like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Nobody didn't see that shit.
Your word against his.
For real.
Man, I fucked that nigga up.
For real. You know?
Yeah, I get. Hey, not to change the subject, but did you know Keefe D was found guilty for
Yeah, I saw that.
but he was found guilty for the jail fight, bro.
Yeah, the one he was fighting that one guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was
But
like,
that was
come on,
crazy because
man.
it looked like the dude attacked him.
Right, it did. He did attack him, man. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not no fan of Keefe D. You know what I'm saying? I still think
Mhm.
he getting what he deserved for claiming to be the killer of Tupac and shit. But
Mhm.
on that video, the man clearly is getting attacked. He defended himself. How y'all find him guilty of having a fight? I mean, that type of shit. I mean, that type of shit gonna happen in the prison systems anyway.
Mhm.
Motherfuckers fighting. You take them back to court to give them some more jail time.
Mhm. They
Come
be
on,
on
man.
that shit crazy. I saw it. I was laughing too. I was
Yeah,
like, damn.
it was kind of funny
I was
because I
like,
was like,
damn,
damn.
bro, that nigga attacked him. How did he get charged with this
At
shit?
first, I thought they found. I was like, damn. I thought he was guilty of the Tupac murder, but it was like, nah, the jail fight. He got
Yeah,
found
yeah.
guilty of this shit. I was
He
like,
was
man,
sitting there
dude, just
looking
catching.
crazy.
Right. I was like, dude, just catching hell, man. I bet you, hey, if you would have never been claiming this Tupac shit, you would never
Man.
be in jail. You wouldn't have had this fight. All that shit could have been avoided, man.
Facts, bro. Like, you done put yourself
For
in
the
the middle
brother.
of all of this shit. Now look at you. You got
Right.
all kind of issues. He up here, he on her crying, talking about he misses his family. He get charged with attacks. Then somebody attacked him in jail.
I
Like
wonder how much time they gave him for that. How much time they gonna add, I mean, how much time they gonna give him for that shit? That shit crazy, bro.
that's
How
probably some light shit. That's probably like either a couple of months or a year or something. Like
well,
probably not
shit.
even that.
Well, you could have just put him in a hole or something for fighting us.
Right.
You
For
know,
real.
you go find a man guilty, add another charge on his record, fighting in
They
prison.
probably just did that to kind of keep him in there. So whenever they, as they
You
go
know
through
what?
evidence, you know how they
Yeah,
play the game.
yeah. They probably need to keep him in there a little longer
Mm-hmm.
because maybe this Tupac shit ain't sticking.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly, maybe it
We're
ain't
gonna make it
sticking.
stick. We're gonna
Right.
make it stick.
We need a little more time. Charge him
Mm-hmm.
with that jail fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, bro.
Cause that's how they get them niggas to come in. They be like, "Oh, we got you on this charge," and then they
Right.
let them sit in there for a while. Be like, "Okay, we've been investigating this murder. We're gonna go ahead and take you down for this murder." And they be like, "What?"
Buy him some more time. They still
Mm-hmm.
putting shit together, piecing
Mm-hmm.
it up. But yeah,
Oh,
man, this is the crazy society. This how we coming in the year 2025.
Look
It's
at
only
it.
gonna be more crazy shit to come. I can foresee it. We ain't even hit the summer yet. So,
I'm telling you. Wait till the summer get here. It's gonna be all kind of bullshit. Oh man. But yeah, man, these are just bad people, bad individuals, bro. They ain't got
yeah,
no kind of morals. You can't have no morals doing no shit like this. Like I couldn't see myself going in a restaurant, eating the food, and then demanding a refund, then tearing up the place, and then
right.
beating up the waitress. Like,
Like you
nah.
was justified.
Yeah,
Like you was justified in doing this. It's like
yeah.
the audacity.
It's another clip with some black chicks. They went into a restaurant and they had said on like Facebook and shit that they was going to dine and dash. They went in there. I don't know if I got that clip, but they said they was going to dine and dash. They went in there, ate this like food. I think it was like $200 worth of food, and got up one by one and left and thought it was funny. And I think they got back on Facebook and was laughing
Wow.
about it.
Wow.
I ask myself, do these people realize how they making the rest of us look? Because we say they don't represent us, but we know how other people look at shit like that and put it on everybody. Like I think we got to be more mindful of that than any other culture. That what you do is going to reflect on a whole lot more other people than just you. But I think a lot of us don't. We
Exactly.
just like fuck it. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. Boy, this is insane. But yeah, when it goes to Felicia Rashad, what she said, it was nothing wrong with what she said. You had women attacking her. Let me see if I can find any clips about that. I know there's one on her somewhere.
Why women should dress more appropriately. She said this in an interview. And in the comments, there were many men and also some women, let's not leave that out, that kept saying, dress how you want to be treated. And this is why y'all don't get married. Just a bunch of irrelevant bullshit that had nothing to do with my point. But anyway, I recently started watching Temptation Island on Netflix. And if you don't watch this show, it's pretty much a show where couples go on there and they test their relationship. They see if they're going to give in to temptation or if they will, overcome the temptation and stay together and proceed with their relationship or whatever. So there's this couple on there, the black couple, Breon and Shantae. Y'all probably heard about them already, even if you haven't watched the show. But anyway, so Shantae, she's this very sweet, wholesome woman. Like, she is the epitome of what these men say they want. They say they don't like a girl that wear too much makeup. Shantae doesn't. I don't even think she wears lashes, to be honest. She's wearing her real hair on national TV. And she also just dressed very modestly. I looked on her Instagram page. She dresses very modest. And she just seems so like she's fit, she's friendly, she's agreeable, she's calm, she's patient with Breon. Like, she's the whole package. And Breon, he is this very freaked out man that's been talking about threesomes since he first opened his mouth up. And that's all he's fixated on. He just feels that Shantae isn't as sexual as he would like her to be. And he's also a man of God. Let me not miss that part. They met at church actually, and he said by the end of the night she was in his bed. I don't know why he felt the need to tell us that, but that was very telling. It kind of shows how he was manipulating her since the very beginning of the relationship and trying to shape her into this woman that he wants her to be, but he just cannot get her to budge on the threesomes. But anyway, so Breon is folding immediately when he gets in the house with the temptress. The temptress come in, it's these beautiful women, they tempt the man, and then these men come in, they tempt the women or whatever. So it's not taking the man nothing to fold. Like, Breon, he ended up having a whole threesome on national television or whatever. Then he tries to have another one. And many of the women that are on the show to tempt him are talking shit about him. They looking at him sideways. They like, everything you say is a contradiction. You're this man of God, but you're so focused on wanting a threesome and all of this extra bullshit. Overall, I say all of this to say that Breon is treating all of the women as objects. The women that came in to seduce him, as well as his girlfriend. All he cares about is sex. I thought that since Shantae dressed so modestly and she's just this sweet, meek, calm, patient, fit, friendly, agreeable woman, that she was supposed to get better treatment. Why is she not getting the treatment that she deserves? Because that's not how it fucking works. I really wish y'all would stop with this dress how you want to be treated shit. No man that's a piece of shit and that dogs women has ever looked at a woman that was fully covered and said, you know what? She fully covered. I'm going to treat her right. That does not happen.
What?
I wouldn't even be surprised if Breon shaped Shantae into the woman that she is right
Sister,
now.
you will be
She probably was
surprised.
dressing a whole different way before she got with him.
That's how you
would be
know. That's how you
surprised.
know a lot of these women be out of touch, bro. They mind is so fucked up that they don't really. It's a lot of dudes out here. When we see some women that's dressed conservatively, you like them even more. It's because we see so
Right.
much of the bitches with their ass and titties out
Right.
that ain't nothing. That's you. I remember when it first started happening. You was like, "Damn, hey, bro, look." We were going to mall and you'll see a chick with some short shorts on, a little booty cheeks. You're like, "Bro, hey man, it's a chick over there, man. Her ass showing." Now you see that, you just like, whatever. You'll glance. Oh, she got her ass out, and just keep walking. But now you see one that's covered up and she look good, she pretty. You're gonna be like, "Damn, who is that?" You know what I'm saying? But hey,
Right.
they so messed up in their head, man. But it was telling what she said about old boy. If he said he was a Christian and then he wanted her to do threesomes and she was in his bed by that night, he
Hey,
ain't living
that's
right and she ain't living right. They already started off bad. So it
yeah.
wasn't gonna work. So just going to Temptation Island ain't gonna make it no better. Matter of fact, I started to watch that. I had saved it on my Fire Stick. I think I might. Matter of fact, I might watch it when I get off because I keep hearing a lot about this show. I think I'm gonna just check it out because I seen the other version of it where it was like a Spanish version. I seen a couple of clips from that, and this one dude, his chick, man, every chance she got, she was in somebody else's bed. I mean, bro, there was one clip where the dude was knocking her down. Like they didn't show it because they was under the covers, but he was going to pound town on her, bro. The dude, it was so bad. The dude was crying when they showed him the clip. He was crying, bro. Like he was.
What are you crying for?
Hey, he was crying, bro. He was hurt because they wasn't just having sex. Like it was that kind of sex. Like the nigga, he was in there. I'm
beating
telling you, bro. He
beating
was
that shit
beating
up.
it
Yeah.
up. He was beating it up, bro. I was dying.
Hey, you should have been crying about that shit. You had a nice little build up, boy.
For real. I think he
You went
eventually
to
got his
work.
get back. He found him some chick on there and he started knocking her down. But but let's be real, bro. Like I mean, well, I ain't gonna
Some of these
speak for
women
me.
be liking it like that. So women
Yeah.
out there, don't be front. You like sometimes you don't want a nigga to be slow. You want him to
Nigga wanting the world out and shit like that.
Yeah, women we
Mm-hmm.
want to be wore out. Some of them do. So don't front out there, ladies.
Yeah, but
You don't want to
dudes,
be moving.
we know that shit'll happen, but you don't really want to
Right.
see that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
You don't want to see that. Like as a woman, that's different. But as a man, you be like, man, hell no. That shit might put you in some type of a rage, bro. And he probably was in a rage, but he on TV. So he can't express it like he really want. He probably like, oh,
Oh
I want to go
man.
kill this nigga right now. But hey, only thing he could do was cry. Bro, I'm talking about he was bald and he fell out and everything, bro. His partners had to come pick him up.
Well, it
I
was
said,
because
damn.
what he was like, he seeing him like that wasn't himself or something, or why would you cry behind that?
I think because him and she was, I guess they supposedly was in love. And on Temptation Island, they had these other people that is really trying to like either knock your chick down or take her from you. And she like waited to the middle of the night, bro. I mean, it's you gotta see it, bro. If you seen it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Like, nigga, like she went over there, he's in the bed. They got the little night vision camera.
Yeah.
And you can hear it. You can hear the like the, and it like I'm telling you, bro. It was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like he was killing it. He was killing it, and they showing it. They were like, because you know how them shows, they be like, his name was some Spanish name, and it was like, we want to show you something real quick. We just, get your reaction. Here's a girl easing the bed, and she and he just he hurt. So, oh man, I'm gonna go ahead and show this clip you just sent me. Let's check this one out.
The judge convicted of shooting her ex-boyfriend as he slept. She has a history as well. Put it at full mass.
Lord have mercy.
I'll be damned. Magistrate judge of Pennsylvania.
He said, "I'll be damned."
Miss Sonia McKnight. Judge McKnight, who was accused of shooting and wounding her ex-boyfriend in the head as he slept, was convicted yesterday of attempted homicide and aggravated assault charges. We brought you this when it first happened. So Judge McKnight was taken away in handcuffs after.
What's up?
Hey, you sisters is vicious out here, man.
Hey, vicious, bro.
Shoot the man in his sleep.
Didn't even have the common decency to wake him up and at least let him explain himself. She tried to off the nigga.
Keep saying it's an ex. So y'all
it's
ain't
an ex.
together no more.
Yeah. He an ex now. For sure.
But check out what. Go ahead and finish this video. Check out what they think her defense lawyers, the angle they gonna use to defend her.
Oh man! Oh my God!
After the trial, judge rejected a defense request that she be released. She faces up to 60 years in prison when she's sentenced on May 28th. The shooting occurred in 2024 at the boyfriend's home. Judge McKnight had lived there, but the man repeatedly asked her to leave when their relationship ended.
I'm gonna stop it right there because that just struck a chord with me. You remember what was the dude for the Kansas City Chiefs and his girl? Remember she lied on him and said that he had beat her and all of this shit, but come to find out he caught her cheating on him and she wouldn't leave the house. Then she tried to extort him for the money. I can't think of his name. It was a recent story too. She literally tried to extort this man for money. She was cheating on him and then wouldn't leave his house. For some reason, women have this thing that I can be here. You can't make me leave. Ain't nothing you can do to make me leave. But this is why men don't stay with women.
You fucked up though if you give her a key.
Exactly. Yeah, but this is why men don't move in with women. Or they be like, hell no, I ain't moving in with no chick. Because, see, when it comes to they shit, they're going to be like, oh, you got to go. You got to go now. But when it's your shit and you tell them they got to leave, they feel like it's no reason for them to leave. And they got every obligation in the world to stay. It's like, what? This is my house. So she end up staying in your house telling you she ain't going to leave even after the relationship over with. Then she try to kill you. But like I was saying, old boy from the Chiefs, he told her the relationship was over with. She stayed in the house. He didn't even try to get out. He tried a few times, but she would never leave. He just said, fuck it. Which is crazy because in my mind, if I told your ass to leave and you ain't leaving, I'm going to call the police, get some type of order against you, or I'm getting the fuck out of here because you ain't finna kill me. And I'm not finna go to sleep up in her. Hell no.
I gotta sleep with my one eye open and shit.
Hell yeah.
Man.
They get vicious, bro. They want to kill you.
That's according to the authorities.
Yeah.
Prosecutors argued at trial that Judge McKnight was a jealous partner who, quote, didn't like that she had been asked to leave. But her attorney said the ex-boyfriend couldn't identify the shooter. Well, that's technically correct. He was sleeping. Yes. He was asleep when it happened.
Of course.
There's more. The ex-boyfriend testified that he couldn't see after the shooting But Judge McKnight was the only other person in the damn home. Called circumstantial, but that's quite powerful. Great circumstantial evidence here. There's more. She was suspended without pay prior to the shooting. So let me explain this. So Judge McKnight, an elected judge in Dauphin County since 2016, was suspended without pay in mid-November 2023 by the Court of Judicial Discipline. Now, why was she suspended? You see, they handle misconduct allegations against judges. The Judicial Conduct Board, which investigates and charges misconduct cases against Pennsylvania judges, alleged in September that Judge McKnight violated judicial probation from a previous misconduct case centered on her actions regarding a 2020 traffic stop involving her son. What? She was acquitted of criminal charges in that matter. This apparently is not the first time that she has shot a partner. Yeah, you heard me right.
What?
It apparently is not the first time she has shot a partner. Let's get it. Judge McKnight was not charged when she shot her estranged husband in 2019 after inviting him over to help her move furniture.
Oh my God.
Prosecutors did not charge her in that case because she cited self-defense.
And women play that game too. They play that role that they can get away with it. Like you said, self-defense. Or they gonna use something against a man that most people would be like, yeah, he probably did it. Yeah, right. He probably was beating on her.
Like that they talking about he didn't see the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Would he sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Of course not. But also, how about seeing that firearm, who's registered to that firearm that was used?
Mm-hmm.
That's an easy fix right there.
Do some ballistics and all of that shit.
Exactly. If your prints and DNA is on that firearm, you did it.
This is the entitlement of this woman. She feel like she didn't get her way, so she just killed niggas. That shit crazy. Nigga tell you to leave, you don't leave, then you try to kill him.
Right.
You try to kill another dude, you set him up by having him come over to move furniture, and then you said self-defense. So he come over there to move furniture, and all of a sudden he's trying to attack you. He would have never said, yeah, I'm going to come up there and help you move your furniture if he was going to attack you. Who does that?
Ooh, wait, she making, man. Felicia Rashad tried to say something positive. Then you got elders, our elder women like this doing shit like this with this type of conduct.
Bad actors, bro. Bad actors, man. Sheesh.
You a judge.
A judge. And pulled it twice.
Judge. Right.
So you know she feel entitled, like, oh, I can get away with it. I'm a judge. And now she probably was telling these niggas this. You ain't never gonna do this to me. I'm a judge. Don't you know I can get away with it? She probably told them that shit before.
She know how to use it. Yeah. She's in the field of law.
Mm-hmm.
Know what she can get away with.
Damn. But you know what's funny is she gonna get another nigga. It's gonna be another nigga talking about he gonna be with her and shit. Just a damn simp, old goofy, clown ass nigga.
Judge, you pushed your luck, didn't you? I mean, damn, you did it, got away with it once. Wow, put her again. I mean, that's hell on wheels, man. She done shot 2 partners. Those are the ones we know about.
Damn. Yeah, she done did that shit way.
You know why, Snake?
More time.
When you shoot somebody, they could easily die, which means you have likely attempted to kill 2 human beings. Yep. And you're arguing that you should be let go because technically the second partner, can't really identify you as the shooter because you were asleep at the time. What say you, brother?
Yeah, that's a hell of an alibi, huh? That's a hell of a way to refute something, to be like, well, if the guy was sleeping, how could he really see anything? It's just crazy. And these is one of those things, Dr. Richie, where I try to tell young people, who are finding love and getting in relationships for the first time. They're in their 20s or whatever the case may be. They think they really like people. I'm like, listen, man, delay that cohabitation situation for as long as you possibly can. Be very sure that this is somebody who you can trust, who you want to live with. Because, this is the worst case scenario, but damn, it's a bad case.
Yeah.
Getting shot while you sleep? That, it doesn't get more nightmarish than that. But yeah, man, that's why you can't be moving these people up into your crib, Dr. Richie.
Man, listen, brother. I think it was pretty bad for the ex-husband who came over to move furniture. This guy was doing a good deed. Okay. Had no idea what was about to happen. All right. And he already knows she's a judge. She got away with it.
Oh,
He
my
has to move on with his
goodness.
life.
She finna kill your ass.
Right,
You
man.
come over there to move furniture.
Man.
You finna get your ass killed.
That's cold-blooded, bro.
That's some cold shit, bro.
That sound premeditated, bro.
That's premeditated.
Calculated as a motherfucker.
Ain't that capital murder? Like, damn. Sheesh.
Man, they should investigate your whole love life.
Man, they really should, bro. They need to see if somebody else then came up missing that she was associated with.
Right. Yeah. You got shit.
Because I bet it's a boyfriend or something that nobody didn't even notice she had a boyfriend. I bet you the nigga came up missing, but they didn't know that she was with the nigga. Or, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he was cheating on her or something and she killed him.
Shit.
What kind of privilege do you gotta have to think that you can just kill niggas, bro? Like, that's some insane shit.
Hey. If she ain't out here telling on herself, it's just this incident. But now they finna open the books on your whole love life. How many niggas you done dated that might be missing?
Man, she need
Aggravated
to.
assault charges.
They need to.
And she's her motherfucking mugshot just smiling.
She like, nigga, I kill your ass, nigga. I kill you. Damn.
Ooh.
That's people like that, bro. Them real serial killers.
OG.
They don't even know it. That's a serial killer. She just ain't that good at it. Cause she ain't killed neither one of these niggas. Man.
That's probably why she got caught. What about the ones that she have unalive, that she's successful with, that we don't know about?
I bet you it's you know what? I bet you it's a bunch of women serial killers that people don't know about, bro. Like the dudes break up with him and they kill him. And because a lot of times you don't know who everybody be dating. You may know like the more prominent people like that they want you to see or they bring around. But sometimes it be people that date folks that nobody ever know that they dated them.
Yeah, man, women are smart. They smarter than us. I give them that. They smarter than us. You don't see if a woman did some dirt, it's not finna be, it's not finna be plastered all over social media. You see, we got a bad habit as our young men doing that, telling on themselves, just doing goofy stuff, but. Man, women be low key with it and keep it on the tuck. Who knows how long this elder lady has been doing this? It just so happened this one wasn't successful, and now it's just finna open up the books on like, man, how many other guys she might have done this to?
I'm telling you, bro. I guarantee you, them ain't the first two dudes, bro. I just know it. I know it. She probably got a couple of bodies. if you didn't marry her or be with her, she just gonna kill you. Because
Right.
she
That's
probably was
right.
possessive like that. Like, if I
Cut
can't
and
have you,
dry.
then nobody can.
Right. Cut and dry. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting interesting case there, man. I was like, man, that sounds so premeditated and calculated.
That is. And she's smiling on that bitch. She a judge. So, if she felt like that, she probably hated men. So when men came before, they probably got harsh sentences, especially if it was involving a woman and shit. She probably just, threw the book at him. Man,
Man.
they need to investigate all her cases, man. They need to be exonerated. I'm serious.
Man,
Cause
yeah.
she seemed like she
Hey,
got
you
something
right,
against men,
brother.
bro. Women like that, they got something against men. She purposefully went into law, probably just so she could do some shit like that.
Man, Granny was keeping it on the tuck,
I
boy.
wouldn't. I would. I reckon the bet, bro. It's a somebody from high school came up missing in her past, and they go, oh damn, I bet she killed him. We never thought of her as being a suspect. I'm telling you.
And open the books, open up all her cases.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, bro. Let me. I got another one, and I'm gonna end it on this one. I don't know how long we're gonna talk about this, but this is pretty crazy, dog. Now this is insane. I'm gonna show y'all this clip. This is from the young lady's page who it happened to. This is from her actual Instagram. But the dude who assaulted her, choked her out, unconscious, his name was Quadarius Davis. He is expected to be picked in the 2026 NFL draft. He goes to Southern. He plays for the Southern Jaguars. And it says he's facing backlash on social media after a video allegedly showing him beating his girlfriend, Jayana Monet, surfaced. Several users claim that the 6-foot star choked his girlfriend after she broke up with him. Hours after the clip surfaced, Jayana Monet posted about it being recorded by the security cameras of her neighbors. She confirmed that the two broke up because so many red flags were occurring. Monet further said that she will be pressing charges. I'm okay. My downstairs neighbors got cameras. My upstairs neighbors got cameras pointed directly towards my door. Everything is captured. I called the police. My neighbors called the police. I will be pressing charges, and no, I am not going back. I'm the one who initiated the breakup because so many red flags were occurring, Monet wrote on her social media. The clip shows Davis in plaid pants and a white shirt involved in a physical altercation with the woman on the staircase. The timestamp of the footage was 1:58 a.m. on April the 12th, 2025. Here's the clip. I'm on YouTube. Yeah. Ain't nobody over there watching.
Do
I'm
they have
going, huh?
they have actual footage of showing him choking her up?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's pretty insane. I'm trying to debate because I may take this down. I had to take the other one down because I was cussing out Ray yesterday. I was going in. I was saying some stuff. So let me think. Do I want to leave this one up? I'll leave it up for a while. I'm gonna play the clip, but I'm gonna eventually take it down. You see, that's him. Now watch this, bro. You're gonna be like, damn. Matter of fact, let me see if I can blow it up. Let me see if I can like go to her page or something. See if the clip is like on her page.
You want her out? Okay. You want her small property? Okay, you want her van? Okay.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. It's pretty bad, bro.
Damn. And that's on footage, bro.
Mm-hmm. She out. You can hear her like, they do that heavy breathing when you choke somebody out. Cause she gonna get back up. But you could she was out of there. She
Right.
gonna
It was
she
like
gonna
her
say I
body went
peed on
limp.
myself. It did. Yeah.
Went limp and just lifeless.
That's the video. Now,
Damn.
that nigga need to go to jail. That nigga need to be charged with attempted murder. And his ass don't need to get out. Cause he ain't shit, bro. I get on women about shit, but this nigga here, he ain't shit, bro. He a real piece of shit, fool. And if she got brothers and uncles, this is the type of nigga that you do something to right here. You don't do
Yeah.
nothing to a nigga who just broke up with your sister or your niece. This is the nigga that you go find and you go do something bad to this nigga. Cause he was trying to kill your family member.
Right.
All because she broke up with him. That nigga is a bitch ass nigga, bro. Whatever he got coming to him, he need to go on and get it. So
I feel
I
you
ain't
on
gonna,
that. Yeah.
That's some hoe ass shit, bro.
Yeah.
You shouldn't get to the point where you wanna. I mean, that's some brutal shit to choke out of. And she's so much smaller than him, and he an athlete.
Right.
Like my nigga, you trying to kill her? You choked her
Yeah.
out. She went limp. Yeah, when I saw that, man, I was so pissed off. I was mad because I got a daughter. And man, if there's
Right.
something like that ever happen, I'm killing you. I'm gonna kill you, bro. I'm gonna kill you.
Off top.
Fuck
Man.
that, man.
Yeah, buddy. They gonna throw the book at him.
Mm-hmm. This nigga's supposed to be drafted. He ain't gonna get drafted.
Yeah, all that's gone.
He ain't gonna get drafted.
And you get the women movement behind it. Oh man, it's a wrap. You got that on footage, bro, doing that, and the fact that you did that. Yeah.
And to me, what really make me pissed off with niggas like this, it's like, bro, y'all niggas act like you finna go to the league, bro. It's gonna be a bunch of other females, my nigga. What's going on?
Right.
You can be mad, you can be upset. I get it, niggas. You break up with somebody, you gonna feel something. But you going to the league, it ain't like you just some regular everyday nigga like us. Even a regular everyday nigga like us, I'm still not doing it. But what I'm saying is, you finna have like the money, the bitches, like, bro. What are you doing?
Mm.
You can go buy some pussy if that's the case. Probably can buy some now.
The emotions. Them emotions, man.
Yeah, you right. It's them emotions, bro. It's them emotions, dog.
Gotta control them. Gotta find a way.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta find a way.
Yep, you gotta. Damn, bro. I just. I don't know. Yep. But that was him. I think I got her on her too. It's her. Typical Instagram thought. I mean, let's just be honest. Typical Instagram thought. When I was going through, like for real, I'm being honest, bro. When I'm scrolling through the pictures,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Just typical Instagram thought, bro.
Thought conduct.
Mm-hmm. Look, all the
Thought
pictures
behavior.
showing the coochie print or the booty cheeks, or as short as she can get the shorts to go. Look, fuck that nigga T-shirt with the panties on. Another coochie print, under boob. Another coochie print, ass, shirt with no bra. We can see the nipple piercings. I mean, it just goes on. Okay, the bathroom pic with the towel. Typical shit, bro.
So she's no stranger to social media. Okay.
Nah. She got 111,000 followers. So yeah. She also seeing this as a little bit of a payday and little publicity. She was done wrong, but that's how it go these days. People gonna capitalize off of it. But yeah, I mean that's all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to end on that. But
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know. I'm probably just gonna end up taking this down because I haven't. I might end up making an upload tonight before I go to sleep and upload in the morning about something.
Okay.
So, yep.
All right, bro. It was
All
good
right.
catching up with you. Until
Oh
next
yeah, for
time,
sure.
everyone out there have a good Saturday night, a good weekend. Shit, until next time, catch y'all later.
All right, bro. Peace.
Peace.